In the dark underbelly of Boston, a series of gruesome murders terrorized the city. The victims, mostly women, were strangled in their own homes, their lives brutally taken away. Fear gripped the community as they wondered who could be responsible for these heinous crimes. The city in fear. The city of Boston was a bustling metropolis, known for its rich history and vibrant culture. But beneath its charming facade, a shadow loomed. A string of brutal murders had struck fear into the hearts of its residents, leaving them paralyzed with terror. The Boston Strangler, as the unknown killer came to be called, targeted women of all ages. His modus operandi was chillingly consistent. He gained entry into their homes, usually during the day, and strangled them with ligatures. The brutality of the crimes sent shockwaves through the city, leaving everyone on edge. The media sensationalized the murders, fueling the growing panic among the populace. News headlines screamed of a faceless monster lurking in the shadows, preying on unsuspecting victims. The city was gripped by fear, with people taking extra precautions to protect themselves and their loved ones. Law enforcement agencies were overwhelmed with the mounting pressure to solve the case. Detectives worked tirelessly, poring over crime scene evidence, searching for any clue that could lead them to the elusive killer. But as the body count rose, the sense of desperation grew. The city streets were filled with whispers and rumors. Everyone became a potential suspect in the eyes of their neighbors, heightening the climate of suspicion and paranoia. Women became cautious of venturing out alone, and communities formed neighborhood watch groups to ensure their safety. With each passing day, the fear deepened, and the tension in the city reached its peak. Residents were haunted by the knowledge that the Boston Strangler could strike at any moment, in any neighborhood. The once vibrant and welcoming city had transformed into a place of dread and uncertainty. Albert DeSalvo crimes included the following. June 14, 1962. Anna Sleezers, a 55-year-old immigrant, was found dead in her apartment. She had been strangled with her own nylon stockings. June 30, 1962. Nina Nichols, a 68-year-old woman, was discovered strangled in her apartment. A bathrobe sash was used as the murder weapon. July 11, 1962. Helen Blake, 65, was found dead in her apartment. She had been strangled with a stocking and sexually assaulted. August 19, 1962. Ida Erga, 75, was found strangled with a pillowcase in her apartment. August 20, 1962. Jane Sullivan, 67, was discovered dead in her home. She had been strangled with her own nylon stockings. December 5, 1962. Sophie Clark, 20, was attacked and strangled with her stockings in her apartment. December 31, 1962. Patricia Bissett, 23, was found strangled in her apartment. A pair of her own stockings was used as the murder weapon. March 9, 1963. Mary Brown, 69, was discovered dead in her home. She had been strangled with her own nylon stockings. May 6, 1963. Beverly Sammons, 23, was brutally attacked and strangled in her apartment. The breakthrough. Amidst the darkness that shrouded the city, a glimmer of hope emerged as law enforcement agencies tirelessly pursued every lead, determined to bring an end to the Boston Stranglers. Reign of terror. Detectives meticulously combed through crime scenes, collecting every shred of evidence. Forensic experts analyzed DNA, fingerprints, and any other clues that could potentially lead them to the elusive killer. The walls of police departments were adorned with photographs, newspaper clippings, and intricate timelines, as investigators painstakingly connected the dots. One breakthrough came in the form of eyewitness testimonies. Survivors of the Boston Stranglers' attacks bravely stepped forward, recounting their horrifying ordeals in detail. Their accounts provided valuable insights into the killer's modus operandi and physical attributes, giving investigators crucial leads to pursue. Forensic profiling also played a significant role in the investigation. Behavioral experts studied the patterns, motives, and psychology behind the Boston Strangler's crimes, providing law enforcement with invaluable insights into the mind of the killer. These profiles helped narrow down the list of potential suspects and guided detectives in their pursuit of justice. But it was a relentless detective, filled with determination and a burning desire for justice, who played a pivotal role in the breakthrough. Through meticulous detective work and tenacity, this investigator stumbled upon a crucial piece of evidence that would ultimately lead them to the identity of the Boston Strangler. The evidence, a forgotten clue left behind at one of the crime scenes, finally provided a tangible link to the killer. As the puzzle pieces began to fall into place, the investigation gained momentum, and law enforcement closed in on their prime suspect, Albert DeSalvo. The capture and aftermath. As the investigation into the Boston Strangler case intensified, law enforcement agencies tirelessly pursued leads and analyzed evidence to bring the perpetrator to justice. Finally, a breakthrough came when Albert DeSalvo, a man with a troubled past, became a prime suspect. Acting on a tip and connecting the dots from various crime scenes, detectives managed to track down DeSalvo. The capture was a dramatic moment as officers apprehended him and took him into custody. The news of the arrest sent shockwaves through the community, offering a sense of relief and hope that the terror would finally come to an end. However, the aftermath of DeSalvo's capture was far from straightforward. He exhibited a complex personality, providing conflicting accounts of his involvement in the Boston Strangler murders. Some saw him as a remorseless killer, while others questioned his mental state and whether he was a genuine serial killer or an opportunist taking advantage of the situation. As the legal process unfolded, DeSalvo was charged with multiple crimes unrelated to the Boston Strangler case. He was convicted for offenses such as sexual assault and armed robbery. The trial became a media spectacle, with intense public interest and scrutiny surrounding the proceedings. The aftermath of DeSalvo's arrest also brought a mix of emotions to the victims' families. While they sought justice and closure, they grappled with the pain of reliving their loved ones' tragic deaths through the court proceedings. Their testimonies shed light on the immense loss they had suffered and the long-lasting impact the Boston Strangler's crimes had on their lives. Ultimately, the Boston Strangler case left a lasting legacy. It prompted reforms in law enforcement practices, increased public awareness of personal safety, and sparked discussions on mental health and the rehabilitation of offenders. The capture and aftermath of Albert DeSalvo's arrest served as a somber reminder of the darkness that can exist within society and the ongoing efforts needed to prevent such heinous crimes from occurring again. In The Boston Strangler, Albert DeSalvo explored the chilling crimes that plagued the city as the elusive serial killer terrorized its residents, leading to a captivating manhunt and a controversial legacy that continues to captivate and haunt to this day. These crimes imposed indelible scars on the city of Boston, forever changing the lives of the victims and leaving a lasting legacy of fear and uncertainty. While the capture and conviction of Albert DeSalvo provided some closure, the Boston Strangler case remains a haunting reminder of the darkness that can lurk within a community.